Welcome back to my channel Garden on My Mind. Today in this video I'll show you how to style your plants with different kind of planters, whether it's terracotta, ceramic, plastic, or say tin or metal planters which are available in markets these days. So this video will be focused on planters for indoors and not outdoors. So what I believe is that if you bring a plant indoors and place it say inside a particular room, whether it's your bedroom or living room or say even your dining room, it's very important that you buy some planters which it matches with the decor of the house and also gives a very aesthetic look to it. I'm not able to do it completely because I have so many plants, so a lot of the plants remain in my plastic pot even in the living room. But there are few areas few plants that I try to style it with certain kind of planters. So I would talk about 4 categories and let us start with I would say terracotta. So when you're choosing a planter for your plants, you have to understand the requirement of those particular plants that you want to put in. Terracottas are used to plant, plant the plant directly into the pot. Because it doesn't make sense to use it as a cachet pot because most of the terracottas come with a hole and it makes sense to plant it directly with the soil. So there are certain kind of plants which doesn't need so much of water and can suffer from root rot. So those plants can be put in terracotta directly because what it will do is terracotta absorbs all the moisture which is there in the soil and it keeps the soil, I would say, on the drier side. For example, plants like say a snake plant, Sansevieria. No, we call it Dracaena. Yeah, we don't call it Sansevieria anymore. So Dracaena, what happens in Dracaena is that or snake plant, let's call it snake plant, they don't need too much of water. This is one of my propagated snake plant and it's in a terracotta pot and I think I haven't watered it for the past 3 weeks. So this video is reminding me to water this plant. So it is doing pretty well because it doesn't need much water. Even if there is excess water, this terracotta will actually absorb it and it will save your plant from dying. Similarly, I have this. This is also a terracotta and I have planted this I'll put the name silver. It has been doing extremely well if you see the leaves. Each new leaf is bigger than the old one and it does well. So the soil dries out within like I would say 4 to 5 days. You can actually keep plant peperomias. They would do very well in terracottas because they hate being in a waterlogged kind of soil. They want the soil to be dry. And peperomias die due to overwatering rather than underwatering. So they will do extremely well. I have one more here. So I have put this philodendron Brazil. In this I've planted this. Brazils also, they like to dry out completely before their next watering. So this terracotta pot works very well. And what happens over a period of time, if you like rustic or vintage looks for your decor or whatever, so they get this white markings after when they are aged. Like you keep on pouring water, the water kind of soaks and the salt elements which are there in water, they kind of come out of the pores and they get deposited along, on the sides of the terracotta and it looks really nice. It gives a very rustic look. So this white thing is not like painted or anything, it has just developed over the period of time through watering. There's a particular name for it. If I find it out, I'll leave it in the bottom of this video. And this is how it looks. This one is again a very basic terracotta, a very cheap one. I think some 50 or 60 bucks or even cheaper. from a place called Pottery Town in Bangalore. So if you see, there are two things: either you buy those expensive terracottas on Amazon or from some other vendors where they charge quite a bit. If you want to design them in your own way without spending an extra penny, so what you can do is you can buy these from a Pottery Town if you're in Bangalore and paint them. Simply, I painted this. This is nothing but acrylic colors which we use for our normal paintings that we do. So you can do this and it looks really nice. It gives a very nice and aesthetic feel. So this is also in terracotta pot. Scandapsis also likes their soil to get dried out before they want to get the next watering. So this one kind of works. But there is a disadvantage with the terracotta pots, is that over a period of time it kind of breaks, because it is your earth or soil at the end of the day. So they don't have a very long lasting life. The second category of planters I would like to talk is the plastic planters. The most I have done is buy these white ones. It still looks okay, and it comes in different shapes and sizes. I used to use this a lot, but now somehow I don't like it. So for example, this one, right, this peperomia, this pink peperomia, I'll leave the name in the description box below. So if you put it in this, right, so this is too small for this one and this is too big. So I'll just show you that if you water it, the water will get collected here, so that you don't have to worry about the spillage and all that. So plastic planters have, limited aesthetic look, I would say. It actually doesn't serve my purpose, but it might serve yours if you are looking for some lightweight planters. These are not very heavy, very light, hardly, I would say 100 grams. So very easy to lift, and the water gets collected. Even if you forget to throw the water, you can do it after a day's time. So that is what the plastic planters look like and the purpose it serves. The third kind of planter that I'm going to talk about is the ceramic planters. And I'm sure all of you love ceramic planters. And recently, in the recent 2 to 3 years, or even 1 year for that matter, the quality and the style, the everything, the designs, the color combinations, it has changed, seen a big change. I don't buy too many of these ceramic planters because the good ones are really expensive. So I try to keep it like less of them, but if it is really nice, then I buy them. So I was talking about this peperomia, right? It's such a beautiful hue. It has this pink tinge. The idea is to keep them in the sun, like a sunny place, like not too direct sun, but little filtered light to retain this pink color in the leaves. So I showed you how it looks in a plastic planter, right? Like this one. It looks very average. It looks nice, but it looks very average, right? The same thing, if you put in a planter like this, say suppose you put it like this. See how nice it looks. If you put it in a corner, or say even on the table, I'm sure your guests will all ask you that where did you buy it from. So that is what a ceramic planter does to your plants and your decor. This is again not too much of my style. It has mirror work and it's a little jazzy, but it looks nice. So what I did was I put this wandering Jew, which is pink in color. I'll leave the name, the generic name below. So this looks very nice with this mirror work planter that I got. I can't remember where I got it from, but I'll try to remember and put them in the description box. These are not as, I would say, heavy, but see the look and the kind of design, color combination. It has a very rustic look, vintage look. These are from Beruru. which is a sister concern of purple turtles. So they have very good planters, but they are a little pricey. I'll show you how the getup of the plant increases by putting in the right planter. So suppose this is again a peperomia, the greener version of that pink one that I showed you, and if I put it in this planter, it's too small, it will go inside, and see how nice it looks, right? This is another shape. So I have put my Manjula Potho here and it looks really nice. So this is another planter. The pot is too heavy. Again, the same design. I hope you can see me. Again, this is the same design, like same build of that planter, but it's on the bigger size. And to match the color, I have put this silver sword, which is looking very, very nice. The only thing is that since it is still in the nursery pot, I mean the soil, it's very heavy. The soil is only red soil. So even like this, you can, kind of try to, either you can do contrast or you can also do same color. So this is looking extremely, I would say, elegant. This is again a very nice ceramic planter. It's of a good make. It is very heavy. It's quite thick actually, and it is called a face planter, and the sides are little rough, like those cement kind of finish. And this is again another silver sword that I have. It's still in a very small nursery pot, if you see this small pot, and I have to repot this because it's getting heavier, and I have just put it here, placed it in this pot, and this also kind of complements because this is a gray color. The leaves are also gray, so this is one of my favorite combination of a plant and a planter, like the last one. So there is an Insta handle called Plantastic Sunny, and I actually bought these planters from him. This one, even this pink one which I showed you, this is called a diamond planter. That is how it is named. And I think there are a few other flask and all I had, glass propagation flask I had bought from him. So this was really a good buy from him. And then there are these ceramic planters which you can buy from any of these decor shops or lifestyle stores, etc. For example, this set of birds, right? It looks very cute. This is from, I think, Fab India. Yeah, somebody gifted me a set. So it's a set of two. So this yellow one and this blue one. So what I did was just to pair these planters. I put ZZ plants in both of them, but the ZZ plant variety is different. So this is a raven, ZZ raven, and this is a variegated ZZ. So there were few stems which had completely yellow leaves, but yellow leaves or completely full moon leaves, they don't survive, so they died. And this is a new shoot which has some variegation of yellow and green. So when I put it, so these two actually are placed in my home office, and they look really nice when they are side by side. Then there are these planters, which I recently bought it, though I didn't need it, so maybe when I need it I'll use them. So this is for some 75 bucks. There's one size bigger here inside, which was 125, and this one was 200 or something. So the whole set came for some 400 or 445, something like that. So it looked very nice, very different, not too flashy, for my personality. So I just bought them recently. My another favorite planter, or the fourth category of planter that I'll show you, are made of metal. So tin planters, right? So tin is generally used as a very vintage kind of feel. So tin, you will see a lot of these Pinterest would have for a countryside or farmhouse style, etc. So my knack is more towards the vintage and farmhouse styles. So I have some tin planters, but there is a big disadvantage. So this is a very nice tin planter that I got from Amazon about I think 2 years back. But the problem is that because of the water, and these are not of very good quality because they are quite cheap, they get rust. If you see this and this, so they get rust around, and it's, I would say, dangerous if there's a sharp end to it and you kind of scrape your hands or fingers around it. It could turn little dangerous if it gets inside your blood. So I'm not a big fan of tin these days. That's why I'm just showing you this, but I don't use it nowadays. I've just kept it for show upstairs somewhere. But this is the disadvantage with tin. They don't do well long term in water. But some people still like this, kind of rustic, the rust coming out and the real rustic, feel to it. But we need to be careful how we use that. This is another tin planter. I have this Mexicanum inside it. So the problem is that if the water kind of stays for a long time, the rust, it becomes a little rusty. But this quality, I think it's slightly better than the one that I showed you, and it has been doing okay. And again, if you see the planter with the plant, it is quite nice looking. And then there are these in the markets these days. Again, these are tin and they have been colored in copper and things like that. So I had actually this peperomia in this, something like this. So see how nice it is, kind of giving the height to the plant. So in this kind of planter which has a little height, what you can do is you can put some plants which are little trailing down or something like that, or the leaves are flowing down, so those will look nice. These again, I mean, you have to be very careful. Either you place though it doesn't have hole, I would suggest, if you want to increase the age of these planters, so place a tray, those water collecting tray inside, so that the water doesn't come in contact with this material directly. Otherwise it can leave marks in the floor, on the floor or on the table, which never goes. So the rust mark is very dangerous, so you need to be extra careful. So yes, now you can't even see me. This is actually I think steel coated, and inside it's nicely painted, so the chances of rust is lesser, and it looks really nice. If you have a nice bushy kind of plant, it will look really good. So this sits in my living room, and this is a grapevine which is doing extremely well, and this is how it looks. So though I told you that I'll be showing 4 categories, but I don't want to miss this, which people don't use generally because it is difficult to maintain. So this is wood, but you can use it as a cachet pot or a decorative pot. And these are slightly pricey compared to ceramics or others because these are made of wood, natural wood. And this is a Philodendron tortum, which is doing extremely well. This needs a stake, which I'll put at some point of time, and it looks really nice in this planter. There are cheaper versions also of the wooden planter like this one. I have only 2 planters. So these are cheaper ones. This is very old, about 2 to 3 years old. So since a lot of water gets collected, there is this watermark, but luckily there's no fungus, there's no rot of the wood, which is good. And these are cheap. I think some 300 or 400 I bought from Amazon. And I have placed this Philodendron Brazil is my favorite. So you'll see them everywhere in my house. So I place it here, and this actually hangs from one of my bookshelves. So this is how it looks. So that was all for today. I just wanted to show you how to style with different kind of planters, what are the advantages and disadvantages. Hope you like this video, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel and do check out my Insta page, which I'll put in the description box. So till next time, stay safe, take care, bye.